In the quiet shadows of a sunlit meadow, a striking white horse stands, its elegant form marred by a grotesque sight that draws the eye and churns the stomach. This majestic creature, usually a symbol of beauty and grace, bears a horrific wound, a festering mass of barnacles that clings to its side like a grotesque badge of survival. What could have led to such a ghastly affliction, though? As we delve deeper, we uncover the unsettling truth about barnacle infestations, a phenomenon that, while common in marine environments, can also occur in the most unexpected places, like the skin of this unfortunate equine. Barnacles, those tiny crustaceans that usually cling to rocks and ships, have a dark and insidious side when they choose a host. They are opportunistic hitchhikers, seeking out any surface that offers them a chance to thrive, and in this case, the horse's skin, perhaps weakened by injury or infection, became an unwitting host. Once barnacles latch on, they secrete a glue-like substance that makes them nearly impossible to remove. The horse, unable to shake off this unwelcome invasion, becomes a living canvas for these marine parasites, which can cause severe irritation, infection, and pain. As the barnacles grow, they can create a grotesque landscape of hard, protruding shells, causing the horse immense suffering. The wound festers, attracting flies and other pests, turning the once proud animal into a pitiful sight. The barnacles feast on the horse's nutrients, drawing life from its very being, a stark reminder of the brutal laws of nature. This is not just a story of an animal in distress. It is a chilling reflection of how nature can turn against its own creations. Yet, as we ponder this dark narrative, one must also consider the role of humanity in this tale. Our encroachment on natural habitats, pollution, and the disruption of ecosystems have created conditions where such infestations can flourish. We are not mere spectators in this drama. We are active participants, often to the detriment of the very creatures we admire. So, as we gaze upon the white horse, a living testament to both beauty and suffering, we are reminded of our responsibility towards the natural world. Perhaps, as we chuckle at the absurdity of barnacles on a horse, we should also reflect on the deeper implications of our actions. After all, in the grand tapestry of life, we are all interconnected, and sometimes the most shocking stories are those that reveal the darker sides of our existence. In the heart of the African savanna, where the sun blazes down and the air is thick with the scent of dust and life, a chilling tale unfolds. Imagine a leopard, a creature of grace and power, prowling through the tall grasses, its spotted coat a perfect camouflage against the golden landscape. But this is no ordinary leopard. As it moves, a grotesque sight emerges, a horrific wound, a gaping hole in its side, oozing with a dark, viscous fluid. This is not merely an injury. It is the result of a bee infestation, a nightmarish scenario that intertwines the beauty of nature with its darker, more sinister side. The wound, a testament to the leopard's struggle, is not just a mark of battle, but a breeding ground for thousands of bees. These tiny creatures, often seen as harmless pollinators, have turned into a relentless swarm, invading the very flesh of this majestic predator. The bees, drawn to the warmth and moisture of the wound, have made it their home, burrowing deep into the leopard's flesh. Each sting, each bite, is a reminder of nature's brutal reality, a reality where even the mightiest can fall victim to the smallest of foes. As we delve deeper into this unsettling scenario, we must confront the biology of the bees themselves. These insects, belonging to the family Apidae, are known for their complex social structures and their role in pollination. However, in this case, they have become parasites, exploiting the leopard's injury for their own survival. The bees are not merely feeding. They are laying eggs, creating a hive within the very body of the leopard. This grotesque symbiosis is a stark reminder of the harshness of survival in the wild. The leopard, once the apex predator, is now a host, a living vessel for a colony of bees that thrive at its expense. The infestation is not just a physical ailment, it is a psychological torment. The leopard, in its agony, is forced to confront the reality of its situation. Each movement sends waves of pain coursing through its body, a constant reminder of the invasion. The buzzing of the bees becomes a haunting soundtrack to its existence, a reminder that nature is not always kind. The once proud creature, known for its stealth and strength, is now reduced to a mere shadow of its former self, struggling to survive against an enemy that is both invisible and omnipresent. As we observe this tragic tale, we must also consider the broader implications of such an infestation. What does it say about the balance of nature? The bees, in their quest for survival, have disrupted the natural order, turning a predator into prey. This inversion of roles raises questions about the interconnectedness of all living beings. In the grand tapestry of life, every thread is vital, and the actions of one species can have far-reaching consequences for another. But let us not forget the role of humans in this narrative. Our encroachment into natural habitats, our pollution, and our disregard for the delicate balance of ecosystems have set the stage for such tragedies. The leopard's plight is a reflection of our own failures, a reminder that we are not separate from nature but an integral part of it. As we exploit the Earth's resources, we must recognize that our actions have consequences. The bees, in their relentless pursuit of survival, are a testament to nature's resilience, but they also serve as a warning. If we do not learn to coexist with the world around us, we may find ourselves facing our own infestations, our own horrors. In the end, as we reflect on this dark tale of the leopard and its bee infestation, we are left with a sense of irony. The very creatures that symbolize sweetness and life have become agents of suffering. Perhaps, in a twisted sense of humor, nature reminds us that even the most beautiful things can have a dark side. So, the next time you see a bee buzzing around, remember the leopard and its horrific wound. Nature has a way of balancing the scales, and sometimes it does so with a sting. In the vast, untamed wilderness of North America, where the sun sets in a blaze of orange and the wind whispers secrets through the tall grasses, a creature roams that has become a symbol of strength and resilience, the bison. But today, we encounter a bison unlike any other. This is not a tale of majestic herds grazing peacefully under the open sky. Rather, it is a story that delves into the grotesque and the unsettling. Picture, if you will, a bison lumbering through the plains, its massive frame casting a long shadow against the fading light. Yet, as we draw closer, the beauty of this beast is marred by a horrific sight, a barnacle wound, a grotesque testament to nature's darker side. The bison's hide, once a robust shield against the elements, is now a canvas of suffering. Embedded deep within its flesh are clusters of barnacles, those small, hard-shelled creatures that typically cling to rocks and ships. But here, they have found a most unusual host. The barnacles, with their rough, calcified exteriors, have burrowed into the bison's skin, creating a grotesque landscape of infection and decay. Each barnacle, a tiny parasite, feeds off the bison's blood and tissue, drawing sustenance from its very life force. The sight is both shocking and fascinating, a reminder of the brutal realities of survival in the wild. As we examine this bison more closely, we can see the telltale signs of barnacle infestation. The skin around the barnacles is inflamed, a vivid red that contrasts sharply with the bison's dark fur. Pus oozes from the wounds, a sickening mixture of blood and infection that attracts flies and other scavengers. The bison, in its agony, seems to move with a sluggishness that speaks to the toll this infestation has taken. It is a living embodiment of suffering, a creature caught in a battle against an unseen enemy. Barnacles, while often associated with marine environments, can occasionally find their way onto terrestrial animals, particularly those that frequent water sources. In this case, the bison may have waded through shallow waters or mud, allowing these opportunistic parasites to latch onto its skin. Once attached, the barnacles secrete a glue-like substance that anchors them firmly in place, making removal nearly impossible. As they grow, they create a colony, each barnacle contributing to the overall burden of the bison's affliction. The infestation is not merely a physical ailment. It is a harbinger of deeper ecological issues. The presence of barnacles on a bison indicates a disruption in the natural balance of the ecosystem. Perhaps the waters have become polluted, or the bison's habitat has been encroached upon by human activity, leading to stress and vulnerability in these majestic creatures. The barnacles, in their grotesque way, serve as a mirror reflecting the consequences of human actions on the natural world. As we ponder the fate of this unfortunate bison, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all living beings. The barnacles, while repulsive, are a part of the intricate web of life. They thrive in environments altered by human hands, feeding off the very creatures that symbolize the wild spirit of North America. In a dark twist of irony, the bison, a creature that once roamed freely across the plains, now bears the scars of a world that has been irrevocably changed by human intervention. Yet, amidst the horror of this barnacle infestation, there is a glimmer in the depths of the frozen tundra, where the biting winds howl like the lost souls of the wilderness. A stark figure emerges from the swirling snow, a white fox, its fur glistening like freshly fallen snow. But as the camera draws closer, the beauty of this creature is marred by a horrifying sight. A grotesque barnacle wound festers on its side, a testament to nature's brutal indifference. This is not merely a wound, it is a battleground where life and death collide in a grotesque dance. The barnacles, small crustaceans that typically cling to rocks and ships, have found an unlikely host in this unsuspecting fox. They latch onto its skin, burrowing in with a tenacity that speaks to their survival instincts. Each barnacle, a tiny fortress, creates an excruciating burden for the fox, which must now navigate its world with this ghastly growth weighing it down. As the infestation spreads, the once pristine fur becomes matted with dirt and blood, a chilling reminder that beauty can often mask suffering. Barnacle infestation is a phenomenon that occurs when these marine creatures, drawn by the warmth of the fox's body, find a suitable environment to thrive. They secrete a powerful adhesive that allows them to anchor themselves firmly, often causing severe tissue damage as they grow. The fox, in its desperate attempt to shake off these invaders, may scratch or bite at the wound, only to exacerbate the injury, leading to infections and further complications. The barnacles feast on the fox nutrients, draining its vitality and leaving it vulnerable to predators and the harsh elements. This gruesome reality serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of life. The barnacles, in their quest for survival, have unwittingly become agents of suffering. As we observe this tragic tale, one cannot help but reflect on the moral implications of such a scenario. Humans, too, often impose their will upon nature, introducing invasive species and altering ecosystems without a second thought. Just as the barnacles cling to the fox, so too do we cling to our own destructive habits, often blind to the damage we inflict. In a world where survival often hinges on the balance of nature, we must ask ourselves, are we the barnacles, thriving at the expense of others? Or can we learn to coexist in harmony? Perhaps, in the end, the true horror lies not in the barnacle wound of the fox, but in the reflection of our own actions upon the delicate fabric of life. After all, who knew that nature could be so cruel, and yet so absurdly comical in its relentless pursuit of survival?